like,
I was going to say that.
oh, okay, great. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's Heather Chubb with Chubb Law Firm, and I am an aging care attorney and elder law attorney. My guest this morning is Sandra Destefano, and she is a Medicare expert. And this morning we're talking about what you need to know when you're turning 65, because I know that a lot of you out there have questions. What do I do? When do I have to do it? What difference does it make? So, Sandra, welcome this morning. I'm so excited to have you as my guest.
Thank you for having me. It's fun.
So let's start with some super easy questions.
Right.
And I know that Medicare kind of comes in two flavors, original Medicare and Medicare Advantage. So let's start with, what's original Medicare?
Yeah, that's the one that everyone needs to start with. It gets confusing because people are not sure what they're supposed to sign up for when they're going to sign up for Medicare. So what you are signing up for is original Medicare, which is separated into two parts, the Part A and Part B. And that's the one you'll get a little card for from Social Security, red, white, and blue card, saying your effective dates for those two parts. Part A is all about hospitalization. So it's anything that has to do with going to the hospital, and then skilled nursing facilities when you come out of the hospital after you've had that episode. And then Part B is kind of all the rest, going to the doctor, going to an urgent care, going to the labs, going to x-rays, all that kind of stuff. So there are those two big parts, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about original Medicare. Yeah.
Okay. So when do you have to sign up?
That's a great question. Everyone asks, me,
Mhm.
do I have to? When do I have to, and how do I have to?
Mhm.
So when we're talking about your initial enrollment period, which is the one that's when you're turning 65, and so now you're ready to go on to Medicare officially, you have actually a 7-month window. You have a 3 months before your birth month, and your 3 months after your birth month. So you have a 7-month window to be able to sign up for Medicare. And that's when you do that so that you don't get any penalties. So that's when you do. Now remember, you don't always have to sign up. If you are still working and are covered by an employer plan, then you don't have to sign up for either one. You can defer those until after you retire or go off of your medical from your employer.
Okay. So, and I think that's the question that I get the most. Somebody that's working, do you have to tell Medicare that you're going to defer?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. No, we don't live in a spot where we have to report everything like that. No. But you will have to prove when you do go on to Medicare after you've retired and you're off your employer plan, you will have to show that you had coverage that whole time from the time you turn 65 until you retire. And that's that same form that we get every year to turn in with our taxes to say I'm covered by health insurance.
Okay.
So your employer can give you that. And so that's all you'll have to have when you go to sign up later on after you retire.
Great. So, how would I sign
How do
up?
I sign up? That's a great question too. Um, so there's a couple different ways. If you really like to stay on the phone for a long time, you can call Social Security and make an appointment, and either on the phone or go in. A lot of offices for Social Security now don't allow you to just walk in for an appointment. You have to call, set an appointment, and go in. That's one way. You can go onto Medicare.gov and sign up, or you can go onto the Social Security website, which is SSA.gov. That's the way I normally encourage people to sign up, through ssa.gov, because there's a lot of information on that website. If they don't already have a login for that website, they need to anyway. At this time of your life, there's things that are on there that you need to know about to help you make all the other decisions you need to make as we move into these great years of our life. So I encourage people to go onto the ssa.gov and get a login and sign up through the Social Security website for Medicare.
Okay.
And that's something that I help people with all the time. People get a little afraid of that. They're like, but what if I do it wrong? I don't, it's not that, it's not as hard as it seems. There's a couple of questions that seem a little bit odd, but I get on the phone with people all the time when they're signing up for Medicare A and B, just get me on the phone and I'll walk you through it. It's fine.
Perfect. Perfect. So you mentioned a little bit earlier that there could be some penalties if you don't sign up in time. So
Yeah.
how do you
Yeah.
avoid that situation?
Yeah, that's people really worry about that. So again, we need to remember that we know that we need to remember when our window is, right? The 3 months before our birth month, and 3 months after our birth month. If you sign up during then, you're not going to have penalties. And then the other thing they worry about is if I don't sign up because I'm on an employer plan, will I get penalized? Again, I have to remind people, no, as long as you can prove that you have credible coverage, which means it's as good or better than Medicare, and that you have prescription coverage, then you're not going to get penalized. And you'll just need to show that you had that coverage from the time you turn 65 until you're ready to go on to Medicare when you retire.
Okay.
And
Great.
if you're covered by your employer's health plan, excuse me, your spouse's employer, then you can also defer. So whether you're working or your spouse is working, if you're covered by an employer plan, you're probably fine and you won't have any penalties.
Okay. Great. So tell
What's the
us
other
there
part?
is more than original Medicare.
Yes. Yes.
So
And that's
tell us
that's
about
that gets
Medicare
that's
Advantage.
that gets dumped in a little bit. Well, actually, there's two options.
Okay.
When you after you have original Medicare, it's kind of like the umbrella. You have to have that. Everyone has to have that. But then there's two options after that. You can have an Advantage plan, which a lot of people know what that is. That's usually an HMO. You're in a network. They cover A and B, and then also they include the prescription portion. So that's all wrapped up into one. And then there's the option of having supplemental or Medigap insurance. That's a standalone. Both of them kind of attach themselves to A and B to cover all the gaps. But if you're going to do the supplemental plan, that does not cover prescriptions. So you do have to have a standalone prescription plan. So there is more than original Medicare. There's two options: supplemental plan with a prescription or Advantage plan.
Okay.
And there
And
it just depends on your situation and how you feel about your medical insurance. And so it's not a one size fits all. And that's why people like me are out there, because we can help you kind of navigate through what are our options, what do I really need, and then make sure that we get into the right thing. Because that's where I think people really worry that they're making a big mistake. And I tell people, there's no mistake that you have to you're stuck with the rest of your life. That's just not the case. We can always fix things, especially within the first year. So but please reach out to somebody. If it's not me, please reach out to somebody who knows exactly how those things work, so that you don't have to be worried and fear that you've got a big mistake on your hands.
great. And so if somebody does reach out to you, what can they expect? What's kind of your superpower and why somebody might reach out to you?
um, I love people. That's my superpower. Now, the other thing is, I really believe that education and knowledge is power. So my priority is to give people the information that they need to be able to make a good decision, whether they go with a plan that I can help them with, or we sign them up with somebody that maybe I'm not appointed with. I don't really care. I want to make sure they're in the plan that's best for them. So they can expect that I'm going to make sure that what they need and what they want is what they get.
Okay. So you'll talk them through their particular situation and which
Absolutely.
one of those plans is going to best meet their
Absolutely.
needs.
Yes, I have a presentation I give to classes that I do at the colleges and in libraries around the area. And so I'm more than happy to show people that on a one-on-one Zoom presentation. It covers all the basics and lets them understand exactly what they need to do. And then I help walk them through it. Like I said, I have people call me all the time. I'm signing up for A and B. What do I do? And I'll just walk them through on the phone what they got to do. So I'm happy to do that.
Great. All right. So any other words of wisdom that you have for people with just they're turning 65? Is there a big question that they need to be aware of or
I don't know
um,
that we haven't already covered, but I do want to say congratulations on turning 65. I think it's a milestone. I think people should be be celebrating that just like we celebrate turning 16 or 21. So I think it's exciting. There's a lot of great things in store with retirement and with moving forward in your life. And so, again, I don't be afraid of it. It's just because it's something new and we haven't had to deal with it before doesn't mean we can't figure it out. We're more than capable. We've made it this far. We're going to make it the rest of the way.
Oh, that's wonderful. Sandra, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been
You're welcome.
incredibly helpful. I learned a few things, as I always do with my guests. I love that. And anybody out there, if you have questions about Medicare, you're about to turn 65, or even if you want to switch, which you can, between traditional Medicare and Medicare Advantage, Sandra is an awesome resource for you. Please feel free to reach out to her and get some help. Don't go it alone. So thank you for joining us. And until next time, we'll see you later.
You're